The Android One program, which involves budget devices loaded with the power of Google, is an attempt at connecting the next billion to the web. Just like Google's Nexus range, the handsets under the Android One plan come with the latest builds of the OS, and the search titan has taken the onus upon itself to keep them updated. The three musketeers of the Android One lineup are the Micromax Canvas A1, the Spice Dream Uno, and the Karbonn Sparkle V. We've been using Karbonn's offering as our daily driver since the day of launch, and it's now time to figure out whether it lives up to the promise or not. The Sparkle 5 isn't going to dazzle anyone with its looks and appears rather plain. Compact in size, it sports good build quality and doesn't feel cheap despite the plastic construction. A black bezel surrounds the display, and you won't find any hardware buttons on the fascia. The top of the screen is home to a tiny notification LED, the front snapper, and the usual set of sensors, along with a circular earpiece that looks very similar to the one on the Google Nexus 5. A 4.5-inch display with a resolution of 854 by 480 pixels is on offer, and while that doesn't really make us go weak in the knees with excitement, it's not too bad either. The display offers reasonably good colors and viewing angles. The text and graphics look fine, without too much pixelation to mar the experience. The smartphone, along with the other two Android One handsets and the Nexus range, run the purest, cleanest form of Android there is. Not only that, it's updated to the very latest Mountain View has to offer, with Google guaranteeing that these devices will always have the latest build and be first in line to get the refreshes. So stock KitKat 4.4.4 is what you get, complete with the Google Now launcher that reserves a dedicated home screen on the leftmost side for displaying its cards. A 5-meg autofocus shooter, aided by an LED flash, is there for shooting special moments, while a 2-megapixel front camera handles video calls. The Google Camera app handles the shooting, offering a clean UI which is loaded with features such as lens blur, panorama, and a 360-degree photosphere. When it comes to image quality, we can say that the pair of shooters just about do their jobs, with the rear camera offering reasonable images as long as the lighting is good. The images are good enough for social sharing, but nothing more. The horsepower is provided by a 1.3 GHz quad-core MediaTek chip paired with 1 GB of RAM. The combo is good enough for most tasks and apps, and the stock UI flies on it. There's hardly any evidence of lag, and routine tasks run quite well. We didn't really face any significant hiccups running graphics-heavy games as well, even though the experience wasn't buttery smooth. Out of the 4 GB of internal storage, about half is available to use, and you can add up to 32 GB more by way of microSD. The lack of USB OTG support is disappointing, but for some reason, access to internal storage has been reserved only for installation of apps and games, and a microSD card is required for all other files. This means that you can't even perform basic tasks like using the camera without a memory card inserted, and that's a huge limitation. The 1700 mAh removable battery ensures that the device lasts a full day on a single charge, provided your usage is within reasonable levels. The Karbonn Sparkle V has a lot resting on its shoulders, and so do its other partners in crime. The current Android One lineup is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's lots more in the pipeline. The Xiaomi Redmi 1S is the one to beat in this price range, but the brand's devices have always managed to buck the trend in terms of value for money. Then there are others such as the Asus Zenfone 4 and the Micromax Unite 2 that also make extremely worthy options in this budget. The Moto E, however, is the closest when it comes to the concept and ideology of the Android One initiative, but the lack of a front camera and a flash for the rear shooter weaken its stand. If you're enticed with what the latest version of Google's mobile OS has to offer and don't want to spend a bomb, the Android One range, including the Karbonn Sparkle V, is your best bet right now.